With Ferguson pulling out of the card this week, Howie Fernandez was out without an opponent, and the UFC has decided to sign Cage Warriors featherweight champion Harry Hardwick, not to be confused with George Hardwick, who had come up short on the Contender Series back in 2023, but Harry, who is currently riding an 8-0-1 run since losing a fight to Richie Smullen back in September of 2020. Hardwick comes in at plus 135. Howie Fernandez comes in at minus 155. Let's break this fight down for you guys real quick here. Now, Hardwick, like I said, featherweight champion for the Cage Warriors promotion, which is probably one of the best feeder leagues in Europe for the UFC. They got a ton of fighters coming over from there. Obviously, you have the likes of Conor McGregor, Paddy Pimblett, all the other great champions. Modestas Bukauskas came over from there as well, who's also competing on this card. Hardwick has a very fun style, a very entertaining style. Now, he's going up a weight class, obviously, to take this fight on short notice, but I think his style is one that really translates well no matter which division he's going to be fighting in, whether it is featherweight or lightweight. He's finished 3 of his last 4 opponents, really showcasing that he's improved his style, and also gives us that classic pressure Hardwick style as well. From defeating a very powerful and tough puncher like Coeni Lopez to finishing Orlando Wilson Prince. He was pretty much taking over that entire fight last time around against Javier Garcia before that ill-fated headbutt in the 4th round accidental head clash that sent the fight to a technical decision that still ruled it in favor of Hardwick, who was clearly taken over in that fight. He is at his best when he just marches forward and throws his combinations and pressures his opponents and keeps them on their back foot. And then he weaponizes his cardio very well as he starts to pull away in the 2nd and 3rd rounds. And then when he has championship rounds, he's able to muster up finishes as well. His grappling very much improved as well. And that's where opponents in the earlier parts of his career were able to take advantage of him. But he does a great job in terms of creating scrambles, working back to his feet, or reversing positions to get that dominant position himself. He's a great addition to the UFC roster, and his durability will definitely help him get through most of these matchups, especially when he just moves forward. And, maybe not the most technical striker, but the pace and pressure that he normally puts on his opponents allows him to make up for some of the technical shortcomings, not to mention his durability as well. That's definitely going to be tested here against Howie Fernandez, who's coming off of a great performance against Guram Kutateladze last time around from, I believe that was back in March. Great work from Fernandez that night, chipping away at the lead leg of Kutateladze, hurting him numerous times in that fight as well. But it feels like we're really not getting the Guram that a lot of people expected him to be, especially after he pulled off that first win that he had against Mateusz Gamrot from earlier in his UFC career. We've seen him obviously fall short against other guys as well, and I think that Fernandez win kind of falls into that category. I don't want to completely dismiss Fernandez. He's a very solid striker, BJJ black belt, but there are fights where guys that are getting the better of him kind of have similar styles to what Harry Hardwick is able to do to a lot of his opponents, and that's pressure him. Fernandez does not fight well off of his back foot. If he can't get to his calf kicking game, he really struggles to get the rest of his game going, and Hardwick might have some trouble early with that calf kick, but if he can find a way to either counter it numerous times so that he kind of discourages Fernandez from throwing it, or if he just continuously keeps Fernandez on the back foot, it's harder to get off on that calf kick with as much effectiveness fighting off your back foot the way that Hardwick normally forces his opponents to. So Fernandez maybe a little bit sharper in the striking, obviously has a calf kick, has the BJJ black belt, but I think the pressure is what's going to catch up to Fernandez here. Just as we saw when he lost to, I believe the guy's name was Luana Sardinia, something like that. That guy was constantly pressuring Fernandez, and Fernandez started to slow down in that 2nd round. And I think Hardwick can bring a similar type of pace and pressure. As long as his durability holds up here, this is a very winnable fight for the Englishman. So I'm actually going to lean with Hardwick. I get it. Fernandez looked really good in his last fight, but I feel like we didn't see the best of Guram that night. Yaya is just a mediocre fighter to begin with, but Hardwick has the tools, has the hardware to really make this a tough night for Fernandes. And I think that's why the line is moving the way that it is. I think it opened up about minus 200 Cowie Fernandes. Now he's down to about that minus 155, minus 160 line because a lot of people are seeing the style being very effective against Fernandes here, and a Hardwick is more than capable of it. So I'm going to go Hardwick. I'll consider a Hardwick round 3 sprinkle as well. I think he can really pull away with this late and maybe muster up a finish. But otherwise, I think he ends up winning on the scorecards. Official prediction will be Hardwick round 3 TKO. But yeah, Fernandes will be tough to put away. And obviously Fernandes was the one preparing for this date more, so maybe he's able to get to that 15-minute mark and not look as bad. But Hardwick, a guy that's constantly in shape, constantly working, knowing that opportunities like this will eventually present themselves, now he has the opportunity to capitalize on it, and I think he does it pretty successfully here. So official prediction will be Hardwick round 3 TKO.